say up front. We're a Christian nonprofit. So people know who they're working with. I say that the first time. After that, you got to see it by how we show up. Okay, we don't beat people over the head with scripture, but we do show up and do real relationship. And so as an organization, ultimately, we want to get people out transforming and their lives and then the people around them and their communities. But that doesn't start, it doesn't happen until you get real relationship. So we're in spaces. So we have 13 different neighborhoods we work with across the city. We know the people in those neighborhoods from Hamilton Park down to Wynwood Heights, East and West Dallas. Okay, so north, south, east, and west. So in those 13 neighborhoods, like Erica's mentioned, we get food out. And we utilize partners to come into those neighborhoods because we work to be a bridge to bring in resource. First, utilize a resource that's in the communities, and then bring other resource to partner with those communities so they can level up faster. So we have those 13 neighborhoods that we work with across the city. Then we work into, when we look at reentry, we have the 288 beds at Hutchins State Jail. When she mentioned this the buildings have 4 dorms. We started with a 20-person program about 20 years ago, and it just kept growing, and then it turned into, it's not just one meeting, they had said, take over, do all the programming in one dorm, and it's grown now to 5. So in that, we have the dorms, and then we have a transitional house in East Dallas, right around the corner from St. Luke, that we built literally as a transitional home for men. And when they come in that transitional home, it's a workforce transitional home. So when they're working with us in prison, first they're getting shaped and they're learning life skills and they're being a part of a community, and they're growing spiritually, because that's the second pillar. So relationships, and then the second pillar is spiritual development. However we do that. So we teach leadership to lead like Jesus, but first we get enough relationship to show it. And sometimes that's scriptural, a lot of times it's by example, okay? It just depends on where we are in the relationship. And so we have that going in the neighborhoods. We have the reentry with the 288 men plus the transitional home. And then we also have schools. And so with youth, we work in 4 different schools. One is Berkner High School in Richardson, Madison in South Dallas, Wisdom, Uplift in Oak Cliff, and the elementary school that just left me, Dunbar, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Learning Camp. And so we have those partnerships. We have schools that are coming at us, but we just have to have the staffing. Actually, we have a little more staffing than we said earlier. We actually have a total part-time and full-time just under 20. Okay, but 11, 12 full-time staff people that Erica was speaking to. And then so we have those schools, and in all of that work, again, remember, relationship, spiritual development, then it gets to leadership development, because we gotta know each other well enough and have a sense of what we all see as valuable when we develop spiritually to see how we lead. And so in that piece, the final leg of the 4 stools of DLF is workforce development. And workforce development, we have a construction workforce center, 8,000 square foot center in East Dallas, literally around the corner from our house, around the corner from St. Luke. If you know where the old Ford plant is, we're Grand and 30. So we're in the backside of there. We have an 8,000 square foot space with a mock apartment in it, so you can do hands-on construction training. So it's not just theoretical. These guys are working on electrical, working on plumbing, working on carpentry. All of that is done plus the classroom. So when they leave, as Erica said earlier, they'll leave with 5 different certifications, nationally recognized certifications, and they'll be apprentices. Right now we have about 21 justice involved, men and women, that are getting ready to graduate this month. This is June, so later this month. And they will graduate with an NCCER, which is a nationally recognized certification in electrical and general construction, and They get a Texas Department license, electrical license, OSHA 30, and one other certification. And that happens over 8 weeks. Now we're expanding that to hazmat training, as Erica spoke of, which is a shorter period of time. So we can get them certified and get a national certification within 7 days, or a week, 40 hours actually. 40 hours and get a hazmat certification. Sometimes we'll stack those with the construction, and that just puts these guys in great position. And as Erica said, we have a long list of success stories from the neighborhoods. We have neighborhood leaders that are just killing it, growing local leaders, because our work is always, we still get to that leadership development, because the ultimate goal is to get leaders that go and make their communities better. That we can't do it with our little staff. No organization can, but long-term transformation happens when we have a critical mass of resource, equipped, network leaders. And so that's our work in a nutshell. And this, you can see in the, we touched over 17,000 unique individuals last year. We can't do that without church partners, without business partners, without community partners. So we'll partner with over 100 different unique organizations each year.
What does your program look like in the schools that you work with?
So in the schools, great question, thanks. So we go and we do a thing called Power Lunch. We start with that. And so it's a lunchtime program. It's like anything else, no matter the age, no matter the culture, food. And so food draws people, and pizza draws kids.
Yeah.
And so we bring in pizza, and then we go through modules. And they have about 7, I'm not gonna give you all of them, but like real popular modules. February, relationships. And so several modules over relationships, and we have panels, and I'm telling you, it is worth going in. You guys might be old enough to hear what they have to say, because it's some serious, those are real conversations. Now I was a little flabbergasted when I went in a while back. I'm a little more prepared. We were at one of our high schools, and it was literally the 9th grade lunch. And I listened to young people dealing with, now remember, we do leadership, we do relationship, okay? We do all that. In schools, we're more, of course we're not explicitly Christian, but we do principles. But there were a couple of kids that were struggling with just bullying and their sexuality. This comes up, there's 50, 60 kids at the lunch. We start with a big group, then we do small group, then we come back to a big group. Their friends, not the kids, but their friends that were part of the lunch time, not the adult leaders, stood up and said, so-and-so is dealing with this. They said it was okay. We need to discuss it. That's what that's about. That's when you have real community, real safety, real relationship, ability to be seen, heard, and then move towards tangible, worthwhile solutions that make a difference in the lives of others. We do that with youth. But if you do relationships right, you can do it in prison. Because you get a guy that walk out of prison and make $70,000. You get guys that walk out of prison. Erica, we were at one of our partners. You guys heard of Jubilee Park and Community Center? It's one of our partners. A great organization. Well, 14 and 18 years ago, we took some of our guys from our program in the prison that lived in our house, that went through the whole program, and we got them jobs there in facilities. They're still there today, serving. Because real relationship does that. Real spiritual development does that.
How do the men and women in the justice system, do they opt in? Do you rely on the guidance of the system to point out people who might be good for the program? Like, how does that work?
Thank you for asking that. They opt in. We offer it. It's still a state entity, so we don't make people do anything. And it's all faiths, and we have all faiths in there. It's heavily Christian, overwhelmingly, but all faiths in there. And we have some atheists. That's the role. Because the whole thing is about community. It's about, again, getting the relationships where you care enough about somebody to do and make a difference in their lives. And you start seeing you have value, and you're so valuable, you're valuable enough to make a difference in somebody else's life. And then you start wanting to make a difference in the community.
So with the opting in, is there like a cap on how many you can, I'm just like logistically, you know, since you go in and, hey, this is what we offer, you can opt in, how does that work? Or do you phase people in like, hey, we can take 15 this year or this semester, and just like, how do you move people through the program?
Good, yeah, absolutely, great question. It's a cap.
Okay.
So, but we have people rolling. We literally run, we have the beds.
Yeah.
We are a prison within a prison.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into Hutchins State Jail and you see our dorm, all the rest of the dorms in there, I can't remember how many, whatever it is. Several dorms, say 15 other buildings, excuse me, they all are got that navy, gray, drab kind of thing. Ours is orange and white. We chose orange because orange is the color of creativity and hope. And they have things on the wall. If you walk in, the first thing you're gonna see is the beloved community. And a large logo. And you know who painted it? The guys inside the prison. Because they're being reminded that you have value here right now. You can make a difference here right now, but you're practicing being in community with these guys because it's a leadership development program. So we have in our 4 dorms now, 5 dorms. We have about 288 people. We usually have around 45 to 60 leaders with actual leadership jobs. First being over the dorm, and then within the dorm you have about 6 different leaders. And then you have leaders that are over our chapel and over the library. You know, so we have all those pieces. And just so you know, that is absolutely against the rules of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice System, because that's like gangs. But when they saw it, they're like, never mind. They came at us.
They look over it.
They came at us, but with it, right. And then when they started seeing what was happening and how we were making them look good, they came off of us. So that work of designing a process to be pro-social in an anti-social environment, we focused on it